Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of the Rusty Magnets. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're inside the garage right now. As you guys can see, I do have the Kratos magnet cover inside the vise already, if I can find it. There we go. Alright, so we do have the magnet inside the vise, which was a struggle in its own, you guys. So make sure you always be careful with putting your magnet inside of a vise or any type of metal object. I ended up wrapping it in a towel and I ended up pushing it towards the vise very carefully. So make sure you guys are very careful. Always wear some sort of protective gloves. These are a little bit thicker welding gloves. But with that though, we're going to get into it. We're going to see with changing this cover out to the new phase 2 cover, you guys. So we're going to get this one on and show you guys how it's done. Alright guys, so what you guys are going to need is an Allen wrench for the inside of your magnet cover. So we're going to get that on there. As you guys can see, it just stuck to it. So what you want to do is you kind of want to take it carefully, move your hand towards it slowly. You're going to fight, obviously you're going to fight with it because of the polarity. But once you get that in there, then you can start loosening it. Most of the time there will be a lot of debris inside of the magnet cover. So you can take like a little pick of some sort. If you did this correctly with your Loctite, it is going to be a little bit harder to break loose. But once it is loose, you guys should have not a problem of getting this off. Now that that's said, we are almost off and ready for phase 2, which we might speed up, you guys. Not quite sure yet. Alright, so you guys, the bolt is out. So now the hard part is getting this back off of the vise. Alright, so the second step is we're going to be taking a nice long screwdriver, flat blade. Preferably if you do have a screwdriver that's damaged or anything like that, you can use that. So what I'm going to do then, obviously as you can see, once again it's stuck to it. So then I can sit there and pry it off. Be very careful with your fingers because this is a pinch point. But then you can take the washer and the lock nut off. And kind of just want to roll it across there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that, get the ring out of there, you guys. There's the ring. So second part is going to be the part that makes us most nervous. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my Phillips screwdriver, which is basically a longer rod. That way I can maneuver it around a little bit more the way I want to. So what I'm going to do is, once again, this is going to stick to your magnet. But then you can get it off your magnet. Your magnet is there. Second step, keep your hands away from your magnet. Now I'm going to open my vise up quite a bit and I'm going to let it roll to one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and stick it slowly to it. Roll up. And then turn. Get this up just a little bit so I can get the screwdriver out. All right. Now what I'm going to do is use that basically to bring it together, pull the screwdriver out. Second step, now what we will do is we're going to make a little basically mark with the grinder And then we will use our flat blade as so to pry the cover off. Or sometimes we can get underneath here, which I don't know if we can. Does not look like we can on this one. All right, so now this is the more dangerous part. GoPro, turn off. GoPro, turn off. GoPro, turn off. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, turn off. Jeez, these GoPros sometimes, I tell you. All right, guys, now as you can see, I did speed this up a little bit on time lapse. So with what you want to do with your grinder is what I probably usually do, I would recommend somebody help you with this. But what I do is I hold the grip on here like so, and I have it rest on my forearm like this. So you do have full control of it, and you just set it down. First, what you want to do is you want to actually set the actual grinder on there just to get used to it. And then you just going to kind of start your grinder up, and then you're going to go back and forth with it just enough to cut through the case on here. Which I do have my first cut through here. Now the next part is going to be peeling the magnet cover off. All right, so what you guys are going to be looking for is when you cut through it, you're going to hear your first little snap, because it does create like a suction around it, obviously with the magnet. So once you do have that suction broke, you can go ahead and start taking your flat blade in there, and you can pry it up like so. If you might have to tighten your vise up, but you want to get in there if you have to. Take a hammer. Make sure your vise is tightened down so your magnet does not fly around. But I'm gonna have to use a pry bar, so I'm gonna grab a pry bar real quick. All right, now this is where you can use the pry bar at. So once you have your pry bar on there, you just want to kind of pry everything so you can get a little bit of a, basically you want to open it like a can. All right, guys, so once you get this, whoa, that was almost a bad time there. Get the camera here a little bit closer. I just stuck the hammer to the magnet. All right, so there we go. All right. So once you get it going here, you can get your screwdriver, chisel, you know, anything like that, just to pry it, start prying it. If you have to, you know, use your hammer just to get it going down. Like I said, again, make sure you are wearing gloves of some sort, and then you can do the same thing on this side. All right, guys, so the cover is now off. So what I had to do is I had to take it out of the vise, pry this cover off. As you can see, you cut it and then you have to pry it like a can. So what I have to do now is keep everything metal away so for the time being, I'm going to set this on the ground and get the vise set up for the installation process. All right, guys, so I have to find the vise real quick on the camera. All right, there we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wipe the vise off with all the excess debris. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this front side so it's padded. The same thing with the back side. So that way I have it all covered. So then what you do is I open the vise up a little bit further. Just open the vise up, make sure it does not fall out. All right, so what you want to do is you want to slide the cover on to here, and yes, it will pinch down. As you can see, it did not seal all the way. So what I'm going to do then, why I have the double-sided towels on, is basically I'm just going to use this as a press. And trust me, you'll know when it goes on. This is how the magnet cover turned out. As you guys can see, we have a little bit of rust on here from like the scrap and stuff like that from messing around with the metal. But you guys, definitely looking forward to testing this out. If you guys have not checked out Buerkles Cerakote, make sure you guys head over to Buerkles Cerakote's YouTube channel. The link will be down below. You guys, we're looking forward to testing this because this may be the next potential released cover for Kratos Magnetics. Make sure if you guys are interested in any of the products that Jen and I use, make sure you guys check out the discount code, which will be also down below, and a link to the website for KratosMagnetics.com. With that being said, though, I will see you guys on the next one.